3 years later. We are live. It's Tuesday night. I cannot wait for this. I'm looking forward to this. I want to chat to the boys. They're in the house. It's Keith and it's Ivan. I haven't talked to them since the 2-2. I think it was a point gained, but they can give me their views on the big game at the Etihad the other day. And we'll move on then to the Benfica game tomorrow night. I have 1 foot in the semi-final and we can see what happens. But Ivan and Keith, how are you boys? All good?
All good. Yeah, all good. Week's flying by. It's hard to believe now we're nearly into Wednesday, isn't it?
Years are flying by. I was 49 yesterday, for fuck's sake. Where are those 49 years gone? Fucking hell.
You don't look a day over 48, Dave.
Been shaved now. Yeah, right. Right, listen, guys. The 2-2 on Sunday, an epic game. It was a game of two halves, really. I mean, the first half we were absolutely shy. I was worried at halftime, guys. 2-1 down, a resurgent City. I think to come out of that game with a draw, how badly we played from a lot of that game. We played a bit better second half, but we still weren't the A game. I think that was a point gained. What do you think, Keith?
I've not watched it back now yet, to be honest with you, and I think I do need to watch it back. I need to watch it back completely and invest. I was just so invested in the match itself. I found it difficult to objectively look at it. Now, what I have done is I've spoken to lots of people about it. I've spoken to lots of people who are, let's just say, a little bit more on the neutral side of things. And they said it was just a fantastic, fabulous game of football. Now, I couldn't appreciate it as a spectacle because of everything else was going on, and nerves were all gone. I think it was more concentrating on what we were doing than they were doing, to be honest with you. They just looked like they were just playing us in all the time. So I didn't really get a huge amount of time to really look at it. I was more concerned, to be honest with you, about certain aspects of the game and certain individuals and how they, how the big occasion kind of got to them over the weekend. So I need to watch it again. I really need to watch it again. But to answer your question, I think it was absolutely a point gained. When they're in that form and we're not, and anyone who's not, on top form, they could cut you to pieces. And there's an argument to say that they could have been 3 or 4 up at halftime. To be honest with you, with some of the chances they had. And I think we scored at really good times, to be honest with you. We didn't really allow them to get a really good foothold. Obviously we score 4 or 5 minutes after they score forced off. And then, they're really just in for half time, to be honest with you. And then we come out the second half and we score again. So we score at really good times, to be honest with you. And we upset the apple cart. And you're right, we were a hell of a lot more us in the second half.
But is it a point gained? It is a point gained. It's a point dropped. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Listen, you got to look at it. You got to look at it objectively at the tail end of that match, and it is absolutely a point gained. I mean, there's no two ways. There's no two ways of looking at it, to be honest with you. And the whole thing just moves on to other people then. In terms of what's going to happen. Like ultimately, they've lost 9 points in the last 10 games, and we've lost 2. Dropped 2. So that's something positive we should be hanging on to. I think the pressure is kind of off us now that we have that one out of the way. I think we can go and do our thing. I think the pressure absolutely shifts to them, to be honest with you. In terms of them, having to, they're expected to win all of their matches now, to be honest with you. We're probably expected to slip up, And
I think if we win our 7, we win it. I think if we win our 7 games, we win it.
Yeah,
I really do.
I mean, a couple of years ago. And it was 14. We won our 14. We won it. Fucking didn't.
I know.
They won all their 14 as well.
So, but as you just said, they've been dropping points here, there, and everywhere. They lost 1. They've drawn 2. They're not like they were the year they won it. That year they won 14 in a row. Yeah, they're not the same. You can get at them.
There's a possibility because they don't have an out now forward. There's a possibility that they can go away somewhere. Somebody really need to hang on to a point, and they have a game like Crystal Palace.
Yeah,
or a game like Southampton.
If we win the 7, we only need a draw, not even a loss. I mean, for me, that game was like, I know Klopp's talking about boxers. That's exactly what that game was like. It was like the boxer, and he was getting his head bleeding, punched off, and in the rounds, and the referee, or they just ding ding, and we get up and go again and get a few punches in the second half. And I think we got away with one there. I mean, if we would have lost that game 4 points, I think we would have been in deep shit. Could have psychologically fucked us up even going into other games, City or the game on the weekend as well. So I think we got away. I'll take the draw all day bleeding along with that. I was hiding under the bed for most of it anyway. But Ivan, what did you think? Did you think it was a point gained?
Yeah, it's definitely a point gained. Like we were shaky as hell to start. I've never seen us start as nervously as we did there at the weekend. But You would have taken a draw beforehand, although we were going for the win. Like, I think what you have to say is, like, and Keith's right. I actually watched it again yesterday, right? And it was an incredible game of football. Now, the first half, bar the kind of 10 minutes around when we scored, they were all over us. They were literally all over us. But in the second half, it looked like two of the best football teams I've ever seen at what they do, right? Yeah. And it was basically Liverpool high press. Like, they were so compact, right? There was probably 10 meters between the centre halves and the strikers, and they were just putting City under pressure, right? And that's the pressing game. But then City were playing it around at the back in total confidence, even though we were going at them, and it wasn't like Man United pressing, it was Liverpool pressing. We were going in 3s and 4s. And then the other side, and I was watching on my big TV, you've got Bernardo Silva, he was dropping into as a sweep. We've got Jesus, De Bruyne, Sterling, and Foden all doing these diagonal little loops, just waiting for that ball to go in over the top. And that was just the game. It was absolutely incredible to watch it. But to see two teams stick by their principles right up to the very last, and we could have won that game. We could have lost it, but we could have won that game. And I think, to your point, Dave, they've been regularly dropping points since Christmas. Yeah. And we could easily win our last 7 games. I'm convinced they're going to drop points.
Yeah. Look, we're still in it. After the City game, to say you're still in it with 7 to go, I'd take it all day bleeding long. I'll take it all day. The thing I was
saying last week, like, that's the third game where we have come under massive pressure. Benfica, Arsenal, City, and it was like a fighter. It was like the Tyson Fury fight where he was just battered, and he was down and he got back up, and he was down and he got back up. How we stayed in the game, like the fact that we got to halftime and it was only 2-1 is incredible.
That was huge.
I was relieved to get there. I knew it would be different in the second half, but if we went in 3 or 4-1 at halftime,
I was gone. You're fucked. Yeah.
That could have been,
as Keith said. I mean, like, we scored sort of the right times. I mean, they went 1-0 up, all resurgent, deserved the win, deserved the goal. We scored against the run of play, to be fair. It was a lovely move, great ball back from Trent. You know what I mean? So, and then to score a minute or 2 into the second half just throws everything there just after being talking about out the bleeding window. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we scored at the right time. We're in it. We're not going to dwell on it too long because it's game's over. But I still think we've a very, very good chance. But tomorrow night, lads, Benfica.
The one thing I would say though, just before we move off, is that we're going to need to impose ourselves a lot better at Wembley. To be honest with you, and we're going to need to get in their faces a lot more, and we're going to have to ruffle their feathers a little bit more. We didn't really lay a glove on them for large parts of that game, to be honest with you. We allowed them to stay through.
Keith, the midfield was wrong. There was no energy in the midfield. You have to have a Naby or even.
I think it was nerves, to be honest with you. I think it was nerves. Now that we've got that out of the way, like, within 90 seconds, the ball comes to Fabinho, where 9 times out of 10 he just controls it and he boots it out of play. He just cleared it. It was like, I don't want that. I don't want it. And that's the way he was for the remainder of his time. He didn't really want the ball. And when he got the ball, he didn't really know what to do with it. He was conscious of maybe fluffing his lines. And there was a lot of that in midfield, to be honest with you. Midfield needs to be a lot more domineering, to be honest with you.
And the back as well. Trent was awful for the first 10 or 15 minutes. Robbo was under pressure as well.
Like, Van Dijk looked a bit rattled, didn't he?
Yeah, and it wasn't even... Sorry, Keith. It wasn't even that they were... It was just that they were under pressure because they've had that in a couple of games. They looked completely nervous, and City were actually muscling them out of it. Fabinho was knocked off the ball a couple of times. They also, City were playing fast as well, so the free kick just before the goal, Fabinho was still having a go at the referee. So the other thing you have to call out, I actually thought the atmosphere of the ground was really good. It's the first time I've heard the Etihad where, Anfield like, or Old Trafford like, where the opposition was being booed every time they touched the ball. So credit to them for that. Now, I don't know what group of fans they managed to ship in for the game.
They rented fans for that.
They were certainly noisy, but we were shell shocked, and you could see it. Even Alisson, his goal kicks and the throwouts, you were like, he's throwing them onto the wrong foot of the player. It was just like, lads, just calm it down,
and they continuously like I think we were all expecting Trent to have a very difficult afternoon. He didn't really, to be honest with you. It was Robbo who had the more difficult afternoon. They targeted that side a lot more.
I thought Robbo played well, though. I thought Robbo.
No, I'm not saying he didn't play well. By the way, I'm just saying they targeted that side. You know, like
which was unusual when you think about it.
Unusual, yeah. They went down that side. They went down that side continuously. To be honest with you, particularly in the first half. Second half a little bit different, but particularly in the first half, that's the way they attacked.
Well, hopefully we learn our lessons from that and we'll pick a different team for the semi-final on Saturday. But that's another podcast fucking talk. But we go on to the Benfica game. I suppose tomorrow night we're 3-1 in it. I think the only thing that would beat us tomorrow night is complacency, because I can't really see complacency in this club squad or team, or even in him. You know, maybe a few years ago you might have said it, but not in the last 2-3 years. There is no complacency in this team. Every game is its own little bubble, its own little universe. And I think he'll approach this game like it's it's 0-0 type of thing. And I think that's the way you have to approach it. And if you get 2 or 3 goals up with that little two-goal cushion already, then you can make the changes with a half an hour to go. We've 5 substitutes allowed, and you can nearly change half the bleeding team. But I'd go strong tomorrow night. I'll ask you what team you're going to do it. But would you do that? Go strong and then see how it pans out.
Like the only time I think, like I'm thinking back to the Leicester game, and I think the Northampton game, which was previous to that. Now, in fairness, we had some injuries at the time, and I think he just went a little bit too far in terms of the stretching the squad and bringing the academy players on the bench now, right? He's got a full squad. He's not going to take any risks. He'll take players off after 60 minutes and try and get the game won. So I actually don't see him making a whole lot. He'll make some changes.
I see Canate coming in for Matip. I really do. Yeah. I see Diaz and maybe Nabil. There's 3 defos, possibly even a 4th one coming in there. He might rest that midfield. That midfield looked tired the weekend. You know? I think he will make changes, but not wholesale changes, because, as you say, we want to fucking get through to a semi-final, for fuck's sake. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I wouldn't expect a massive gung-ho kind of match now tomorrow. I'd be expecting a professional performance, get the job done. Even if it's a 1-0 defeat, it doesn't make an awful lot of difference. It'll be all about getting the job done, to be honest with you. Listen, sure, we'd go out to it, but I can't see us, like, investing a huge amount of time, massive amount of, emotional energy into it, to be honest with you. I think we'll try and be very professional. I think what might impact as well how we play and how the crowd is depends on who we get tonight, to be honest with you, who we look to play in the semi-final. I think if it's Bayern, there's a little bit more, on it, to make sure we get there. If it's Villarreal, again, we'll just be professional. So you could probably make a few changes, to be honest with you, with Saturday. But I think what this is kind of shown as well is that, chasing a quadruple at full strength could be a bit of a fool's errand. You need to pick your fucking battles going forward, particularly if there's signs that the team are starting to look a little bit ropey around the edges. But listen, it could all be done by Saturday evening. We could literally be, just with three competitions, with 2 left and 1 in the bag. So
we won't be.
Thanks very much, Keith.
We won't be.
No, we could be. We could be.
I think we're lucky.
We gotta stay positive. Of course, it could be. Yeah. I mean, you're only 1 bad defeat away, I suppose, aren't you?
For sure. Like tomorrow, if you work back from the front 5 or 6 or 7 or whatever we want, he can pick any 3 there now tomorrow. So he can definitely start Diaz. He can definitely start Bobby and one of the others, right? So and that's just rotation. That isn't even resting players. That's just Diaz deserves a start. Possibly should have started at the weekend.
Bobby will start as well.
Bobby I think as well.
I think he plays MOSALAH, and my thinking behind that is, they're not training anymore. Liverpool, they're really they're match fit at this stage. They're not match fit by now. It's just I play him to try get a goal or 2.
Yeah. So we need to play him into goals. You're right. We need to play him in to start scoring.
Yeah. No, I thought he was, but for a goal on Sunday, he was superb.
Well, this is a fantastic assist.
Second half.
Yeah.
Fantastic assist, so that's what you want as well. You want assists and goals. Yeah. Super ball into Mane. Super ball.
Mane's starting to click a little bit better though as well, isn't he? I mean, he's
scoring. Can't knock him. He's scoring. Same thing as Jota. They're scoring, but the rest of the play is. But anyway, It is what it is. I have to. I've got friends who just arrived.
You've got friends. You can rock and roll, Keto. Fair play to you.
Say hello later on the week. All right.
Yeah, we do something for the semi, right?
Yeah. No problem.
Right.
Love a semi.
Love a good semi.
Talk to you later.
Loves the semi and the sausage rolls. Good luck. I mean, meant sausage and batter. Sausage
Battered
roll.
sausage.
But listen, I mean, we'll do probably something Thursday or Friday for that big game. But I mean, look, Ivan, what a place we're in here.
Listen, fella.
We're just throwing away quarterfinals and Champions Leagues like it's confetti.
Dreamland.
Semi-finals, FA Cups, a point behind City, League Cup already won. I mean, this is just unprecedented.
This is dreamland stuff. Dreamland stuff. And I think were you listening to the press conference today? I'm convinced he's going to sign on, right? Because we're so far ahead of the other teams in the Premiership, right? It's going to be between us and City, but for a dramatic change somewhere else, I can't see it. We're going to be in the Champions League next year. We've a squad now to challenge on the forefront. We've proven that. There's trophies here for us, and it might only be FA Cups, or maybe it'd be a Premiership and a Champions League. I don't care, but we're going to be challenging for everything. And I don't think he needs to be just focusing on the Premiership and the Champions League anymore. There's so much more there for us to win, and I think he's understanding that now. And
I think it's important we get something out of this season. Totally. I know we got a League Cup, but I think it's important. We're still in three. At least one of these, Ivan. I think it's very important.
Yeah, I think so. I think so, and I fancy us on Saturday because I think your man will fiddle with things just naturally, right?
You know what? It depends on what happens against Atletico Madrid. They have a tough game tomorrow night against Atletico. They could perceivably get knocked out there. You never know.
Yeah. No, let's assume they go through. I can see him fiddling around on Saturday, and I can see it going to penalties on us going through. It's going to be one of those ones. I'm convinced of that. I'm convinced they're going to drop points in the Premiership. Absolutely convinced of it. And to me, the more we think about it, and the more we're talking about it last week, this and the media is saying it, Liverpool looks like a championship winning team. They're grinding through the results.
Yeah.
They're playing badly and they're getting wins, and they're just hanging in there, just hanging in. And
I mean, you look since the turn of the year, probably even since Diaz came in, say the end of January, there hasn't been a huge amount of outstanding performances. No. I mean, the Leeds 6-0 Leeds.
Second half against Arsenal, I thought was really good.
Arsenal,
was
decent. The Leeds 6-0, but we've been grinding 1-0s, 2-0s, not playing. Watford even wasn't a great performance, really.
Yeah.
But that's what wins the leagues. That's what wins the leagues.
It does. Now look at City as well. Like I don't think City have been playing brilliantly.
No.
Well, they haven't been winning brilliantly. They've been playing super football, but up to the edge of the box kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? So
they haven't been blowing teams away like they used to do. I mean, even the Everton game, we all know about the handball. It was only 1-0. That game was fucking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They had a lot of chances against Palace. Couldn't score. I mean, I think it's there for the taking, Ivan. I really do.
Totally. And I wouldn't even look into the fixture list in terms of who you think's more difficult or not, because they're higher up or lower down.
All difficult.
They're all difficult. You've got Newcastle in there who are playing really well. You've got Villa and Stevie, and there's a story in there somewhere. There's Everton and United.
Right. Do you know what I mean? And do you know what another one is? They have to play Wolves away. We have to play Wolves the last game of the season. Wolves beat them twice.
Yeah.
Wolves are one of those teams against City. They have a very good record. And that always seems like Spurs had. And Spurs beat them twice. Spurs and Wolves are like bogey teams for
I could see it going down to the last game, or do you know what I mean? And again, you're right about calling him tomorrow night. Like, I think we win tomorrow night and we go through. Like, if we don't, it's criminal. But a 1-0 lead for them going over there, that's dodgy. That's so horrible to have to go into. And let's say they go out, and then does he go, I have to win this FA Cup as well? And does he risk something on Saturday? And then you're in the lap of the gods.
Then he's under pressure for the league. That's all he has,
Massive pressure.
So, but the other way of looking at it is, if City, let's say, do go through, I think they probably will. Let's say City do go through against Atletico, but it's a tough game. Their eyes then are possible. Looks like Madrid. I think Madrid will beat Chelsea. I mean, they're 3-1 up. The Bernabeu. I'll be very. But even if it is Chelsea, it'd be still a tough double leg for. It'd be like 2 extra Premier League games. Let's be real. When you don't.
I think Madrid, though. Yeah.
I'm sort of hoping they do get to the semi for that reason and probably get knocked out, because if they play Madrid home and away, that's going to take their eye off the bleeding ball too for the league games.
Yeah. I know they're all massive games. I think we've been very lucky with the fixtures, particularly getting Benfica. That's a massive one for us. Like, there was a tough 20 minutes in that second half when they scored last week.
I think we brought that on ourselves, though. I mean, one mistake, we're cruising.
Yeah,
you give any team, you play football, you manage football yourself. You're cruising at 2-0. You let in a goal, the fucking change, the dynamic changes. But we held in there for that 15. You're a bit lucky. But then I think the last 15, we just switched into gear again, and Diaz scored that lovely goal. And Jota could have scored, could have made a 4-1.
Yeah. And I think, as I said last week, we've had to do that. We've had to dig in and be resilient and hold in for games where we've been on the ropes for a little bit. City haven't had to do that. Yeah, but for a couple of some of the second half against us where we were really pushing them and we had a couple of chances. I still don't think they'd say we were under pressure for much of that game. They would say that they gave up chances to us, but they still haven't had that.
It's a bit bright in my head there. I look like an angel. Hold on. I just pull these.
Very good.
Are they the wrong ones? They're the wrong ones. They're the fucking door I'm pulling. But look, it's. I think there'll be changes tomorrow night. He could do a wholesale change. I mean, he could have Tsimikas in for Robbo, give Robbo rest.
I think that's very likely.
I mean, I'm going to give him my 11 for tomorrow night. I think Alisson stays in goal. He's been brilliant for us. He's very good the weekend.
The save against Sterling. I don't know why that hasn't been shown as much. I know they scored just after, but that save was absolutely incredible from Sterling. Absolutely incredible.
Hi, Davey, lad and friend. My friend's name is Ivan. But look, do you know what it is? The big thing for me, Alisson in goal. I'm going to go Van Dijk, Konate. I think Konate plays. I really do. When else can you rest Matip? You can't rest him in any league games. You certainly can't rest him in the fucking semi at the weekend. So I think he's going to play in that. So I play Konate, VVD. I play possibly Tsimikas. Why not? It's not a huge risk. You're giving Robbo a rest.
Yeah.
Trent's coming back into it. He just needs games now. So Trent's in. The midfield is the big one for me. I think Naby lad comes back in. I really do. I don't know, Eddie. I don't think he can leave Fabinho. I just don't think I don't think it's possible to leave that.
He's entitled to a bad game, so let him off. Yeah,
I'd leave him in there. Now the question is, do you play Hendo? Hendo had a bit of a poor game the weekend, but he will probably play at this weekend. So is it Hendo, Fab, and Naby? Or does he mix it up fucking totally and throw Milner in the works there? See, the thing about this is you've got the 5 subs. So I'd start strong enough and then just listen, 25, half an hour, just start making your subs,
Yeah.
But up front, I'd definitely go MOSALAH. I think this is a game where you would potentially say at home, Champions League, he could get a goal or maybe 2. Gives him a bit of confidence for the last kick of the season, because he's not going to get many more big games where he's going to have a chance to get a big goal. So I think Salah there, Diaz against the Portuguese side, as we all know. I mean, he scored. He's a great record against Benfica. And possibly even Bobby, because Bobby hasn't played, but he might play Jota and Diaz being both Portuguese, Jota being Portuguese. I don't know. It's options, though. But Bobby and Diaz, I think he will play because they haven't really played.
And
MOSALAH, I would play. That'd be my team. What would you go with?
I think at the back, definitely Konate and Van Dijk. That's defo. And then I just think he's going to change one of the fullbacks, and I think you're probably right. It's probably most likely Tsimikas comes in for Robbo, but he could rest Trent and bring in Gomez and play Robbo. So I think
could rest Gomez or probably Gomez and Tsimikas. You just don't know.
Yeah, I don't think he'll change both fullbacks.
No, do you know what he did say? Something. I don't know whether you've seen his 12 his presser today. I always check out his presser.
Yeah.
He did mention something about changes, but we know there will be changes. But he was more or less saying, I won't get many chances in the rest of the season to make changes, and you've got to use basically, you know what I mean? You've got to be careful. All we need now is 1 or 2 really bad injuries to key players. It derails us, for fuck's sake. So you got to be careful. You got to be careful, without being reckless. I'm not talking of 7 or 8 changes. I'm talking of the likes of Konate coming in for Matip, the likes of Naby lad maybe for Thiago, and the likes of Diaz up front. There's 3 straight away. Possibly Tsimikas for Robbo. There's 4.
I think
that's not reckless.
Yeah, defo Fab and Naby in the middle, and then who on the right? You've got Milner who could come in. You've got Thiago who could play that side. You've got Curtis who could play that side. I'm not sure what the story is with Harvey Elliott. He wasn't in the squad at the weekend.
No, I'd be surprised if he. Yeah.
And I think I do think he'll rest Henderson. Henderson, I don't think had a great game at all. But I just think the quality of City at the weekend, we were all under pressure there. But I do think he'll start. I think the FA Cup's just a different game for us. The league game just meant so much. Now,
it's not as much pressure, the FA Cup game. It's like a bonus game. Listen, you win, you're in a final, an FA Wembley final.
Totally. And I think
it's
when
more
we
important
get there,
than the Carabao Cup. Let's be real. The FA Cup still has some historical value to it. You know?
Like it'll be electric in Wembley, and as soon as it kicks off,
game. I'd love to be at that game, would you?
A massive game. Yeah, it'll be brilliant. Yeah. So just think right side of midfield there's a question mark who'll start. Definitely Diaz and Bobby up front. And it could be anybody else, but I would go with you. I'd go with Salah. Salah needs a goal from play.
He needs a goal, yeah. And take him, as you say, he gets a goal or two. Aragon, take him off.
Oh, absolutely.
Rest him for the last half hour.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's the dream. The dream is we win 2 or 3-0, and we're 2 or 3-0 up early by the hour, and then you can make your substitutions, no injuries, get the deal done into the semis. That's the dream scenario. Yeah. Now, it mightn't work out that way. We know what happened with the Inter game. We were 2-0.
No, I think one goal.
Inter will get our side to Benfica, though. Inter will get our side.
Yeah, I think first 15 minutes we get a goal, it's game over, and we just keep it tight then, and make your changes whenever you need to. You know, maybe even half time, take off whoever you need to just to protect them. But having the squad there is great because you can, and you're still, even if you make big changes in big positions, there's the quality there coming in. Like Matip and Konate, there's nothing between them. You're not losing anything by playing the other one. Robbo and Tsimikas, there's probably 5% between the two of them. You're not losing anything. Trent, I would always love to have Trent in the team just because what he can do going forward. You know, but it's all they're much more interchangeable now than they were maybe 3 or 4 years.
It's great having options talking about it. I mean, we've been doing this for a while. I've been doing it for fucking 4 years nearly. I've never been able to talk about resting players or talking about, you know, being able to bring players on or you know, I just haven't.
We've always had our first 11 or 12, and that's been it.
And the games we've played already, we played more games than we did last season already. I mean, we're fucking ridiculous amount of games we played. But Crick D is going with Allison, Gomez, Kanate, VVD, Robbo, Naby, Jones, Fab, Salah, Mane, Jota. Jota, I tell you what, Jota, another goal the weekend. I mean, he's not getting much love, is he? Like, I don't know. 15 league goals. What is it? 21 goals?
21 altogether, yeah. 21.
Ridiculous.
Incredible.
Ridiculous.
Incredible. Yeah.
Chipping in.
Yeah. No, he's been brilliant. It was a really good goal.
I think that's the key, Ivan. If we can get Mo back on the goal, because usually he goes through goals. If he gets a goal, a few, you know, it's he's on a roll and gets a few in a row type of thing.
I think in fairness to him, like certainly the last 2 games, he's been like what I've seen with Salah over the last couple of years since he's been there, even against the likes of Shaw, like he's not the most physical player. So if you get in about him and you're physical and you make him play with his back to goal, he's that you've lost it now. In fairness to him, what he's very good at when he does get in those positions is quickly turning and getting on his bike. And he had a couple of chances against City. He scored a great goal against Chelsea doing exactly that when Rudiger was up his arse and Trent just played a quick ball in. So he's really good at that. But he's best when we're counter-attacking or when he's running in and he's just free. And he's had a couple of those kind of chances and it just hasn't gone for him. So it'll come. It's not like you're going, oh, he's been shocking. His first touch has been a bit dodgy the odd time. But keepers have saved shots and he's hit the post and defenders have come across him and stuff like that. So it'll come from. It'll absolutely come from.
But I mean, it's as you just said a few minutes ago, it is dreamland. It's absolutely dreamland. I mean, I was 49 yesterday and I've never bleeding seen that like it. I'm following Liverpool since I was fucking, you know, about 10, 8, 9 or 10.
It's fucking incredible. It's absolutely incredible to be.
And there's still negativity there. Where the fuck is that coming from? Did you see it the other day? Negativity.
Like, listen to me. Can you imagine being a supporter of Manchester United or Everton now?
No. Come on. No, never. I know a few people. I know a few United fans, of course. I know 1 or 2 Everton fans, but I mean, what do you want? What do you want in football? Do you want to be at the tail end where you're fucking going for quarters, semis, finals, whether you win them or not? But just the journey to get there is nearly as good as winning the fucking thing. Right. Obviously, you want to win it at the end. Of course, you do. Yeah. I mean, I want to win everything. Possibility and being realistic about it. It's going to be tough. Let's be real. You know,
I think in games where there's finals, where they're one-off games or there's 2-legged games, Klopp is brilliant at those. He really is both. in terms of the teams that he picks and his tactics, and also how he responds in the second half of a game or in the reverse fixture. So that's why I'm really confident in the two cups, because I think if we stay resilient, which we have, and Sunday was the first time we've conceded two in a long time, I think. We're in with a great chance there. And then with the league is a bag of cats with 14 games between the two of us. Anything could happen there. And there's no way in the world, with the way both teams are playing, that there aren't going to be points dropped here or there between now and May, you know. So I just think we've an incredible chance. I'd be really positive that we're going to get something.
I think Linda Stanley has got it right here. This channel deserves more views. Keep it up, lads. Thank you very much, Linda. Like and subscribe. Hit the like button, guys. As you said, I mean, I've been doing well recently. Got a lot of views, a lot of likes, a lot of subs. Got nearly 130 subs in the last week or something. So, like, we're powering ahead. But it's not about that, guys. It's about Liverpool. It's about chatting about Liverpool. It's about the fun. If I wasn't doing it on this, I'd be doing it in the pub. Or I'd be sitting there in front of it. I'd be having a can doing it. You know what I mean? I'd probably be talking to me fucking self, Ivan. This is the way I am in real life. I mean, you know, it doesn't fucking matter. It's not put on for the cameras. You know what I mean? I'm even worse with a few drinks, but this is just fucking, you know, I'm drinking Diet Coke today. So it doesn't matter.
I'm on the water tonight. I'll wait till Holy Thursday to get back on it.
Holy Thursday, yeah. But look, as I say, we're in dreamland, and for people to even be negative about a fucking 2-2 at the Etihad, being 2-1 down, being 1-0 down, then being 2-1 down at half time, come away with a 2-2, I would have took your bloody hand off.
Absolutely. And even, like, I think it's great listening to Gary Neville and Roy Keane and Carragher after the game, who I think are really good analysts, and I know there's a bit of banter every now and again with them, but they're very considered when they're talking about City and Liverpool. And all of the feedback about the Liverpool team was what Klopp has done with the budget that he's had, and to make these players superstars, the sum of their parts, to be 2-1 down at the Etihad and to be up against on the ropes, and to just come out after half time and not really change a whole lot, but get that goal and just stick in and still play with the intention of trying to win, playing the high line, playing the risky football, not giving up on your principles. Like, this is just, what a time to be watching these lads. Dreamland. Absolutely unbelievable.
Crick D is a good question here. If the ball was to drop in the box in 90 plus minutes, who out of the front three would you want the ball to drop to? Personally, Jota every time. He's like Fowler. He does remind me similarly of Fowler, the way his stature and everything, the way he is, how good he is in the air. I mean, he's ridiculous in the air.
Great in the air.
Great headers of the ball. He's just fucking. But he always seems to be in the right place. He makes very intelligent runs.
He does, but for such a small fella, he's like Ronaldo. Maybe they coach it in Portugal. If you look at how look how he hangs in the air for small. I know Ronaldo's much taller than him, but they get this jump, and they manage to hang their body. The neck goes up.
Although Ronaldo's neck is Ronaldo has a giraffe neck. I mean, a go gadget neck.
Yeah. But it's you're right. It's the position. Like, Fowler wasn't bad in the air, but he wasn't great. You know what I mean? But what Jota does, Jota just finds the space in between either the two centre halves or between the centre half and the fullback every single time. And it's against the best defenders he's finding it as well. Really good at finding that little gap, you know.
I mean, I think it was the Arsenal game. Got in between two 6 foot plus defender centre halves, and he's 5'9" or something. Bang into the corner. Unbelievable, like, you know. Eamon Kelly in the house. How are you, Eamon? Hit the like, guys. Hit the share. As I say, it's going to be momentous, historical, epic, whatever way you want to talk about the next 4 or 5 weeks, Ivan. No matter what happens, as I say, there's a journey to get the finals. There's a journey to get the semis and quarterfinals. And even tomorrow night, I think we've got to be professional tonight. Just get the job done.
Keep ticking it off. So tomorrow's another one. Take that off into the semis. On to Saturday. Take that off.
Then United on Tuesday.
Massive.
Fuck. And then Everton. I think it's Everton then the weekend.
Sunday, yeah.
I mean, both of those teams are absolute shite, but I think they'll give us games.
They will.
Because we will be nervous. You know what I mean? Yeah. I mean, you know,
now, we're home for both of them. So like Everton it does absolutely helps us. Everton haven't got any points at home since Lampard's taken over. United are just an absolute bag of cats. They are all over the shop. All over the shop. But I think there's probably tougher games. Like Spurs will be a tough game. Newcastle will be a tough game.
I think every game's tough for the very fact what's riding on it. I think we can't even draw games anymore. You have to win. I mean, that's how ridiculous it is between these two teams in the last. I don't know whether you know, there's only a point between us in the last 4 seasons.
Mad, isn't it? Mad.
1 point between us with those record-breaking points totals is just fucking out of this world. It's Martian. It's fucking intergalactic. I mean, it's just, I don't even know what it is. It's alien. It's actually alien.
We've normalized this incredible level of consistency. Like when I started following them in the 80s, and they were winning leagues every year, they were losing lots of games and they were drawing lots of games. They were just better.
I don't know whether you remember when the league, well, it was a long time ago, when the league used to only get 2 points for a win and a point for a draw. 2 points for a win and 1 point for a draw.
Like even and my two favorite seasons were 86 and 89, and there was a very, very good Everton team.
Double in 86, the double in 86
and 89. And even the United team was decent. Forest were around, Aston Villa. So you'd always you'd lose a couple of games here or there. But you'd never see the points total or the level of consistency. It was just phenomenal what they're doing now. Absolutely.
Yeah, we had tragedy in 89 with Hillsborough. Obviously, the Hillsborough anniversary is coming up now in a few days. But I mean, we had a great team in the 80s, even the 70s, the late 70s. We had a great fucking team. Of course, we did. But this team now, I know it's different. It's a different league. There's money. It's a business now, really, rather than But just the levels, different level. It's the level of consistency. I'm not even talking about performance. I'm on about
consistency. Yeah,
it's just fucking ridiculous. But both teams now, to be fair to City, and I know they have a lot more money than, and they spent. I don't know whether you've seen the talk sport. I don't watch it, but you do see clips on Twitter, little snippets. Your man, the ex-Palace chairman, Jordan, Simon or Jordan, is it?
Yeah,
was on talking about Klopp
points per game,
100
or money for your
point. $300,000 difference points per game over the 4 seasons. I mean that when you add up that 38 games a season, but then again, you also say the likes of United have spent a lot of money, and look how shite it is. The way you spend the money, Ivan, too.
But it's also like I think Klopp is getting a lot of praise rightly for not spending a whole lot. But I think Klopp is part of a machine where it's all data-based and it's all based on metrics and, a profile of player, and being very specific about the type of player, but also being very prudent with the money. So you don't spend a lot of money, so you're buying ones and twos, whereas United are just throwing money randomly at a name. And that's why they're not working. But you look at City, and I think you can't just dismiss Guardiola as a kind of a money coach, because whilst he's buying ready-made players, I think he's made them all better. Do you know what I mean? So look at Cancelo, look at Sterling, look at Foden, and Foden was obviously came through the academy. De Bruyne, all those guys, they would, I'm sure they'd all say, we've gone up 2 or 3 levels with Pep. So whilst he's definitely had the money, you can't not say that he's not a great coach, because he's a fucking brilliant coach.
Oh, we know he's
just a different.
There's a bit of a love in though between him and Klopp. I don't know whether you've seen that either. It's a bit lovey-dovey though, isn't it?
And also I saw a video today of Pep and Trent and Pep and Van Dijk, and he was holding his hand. He was rubbing his hand.
Rubbing and touching your shoulder and everything. I like Nigel though. Do you not like Nigel?
I do like Nigel, but at the same time, what I don't like is I think when there's niggle, and Klopp is great at niggle, he's great at niggle, and he's great at whinging and complaining, and when he loses, he's a bad loser. What I hate is when you see something on the sideline with Mourinho or with Ferguson and Wenger,
or Arteta that time with Klopp, remember?
And it just and Lampard as well, and it explodes and it boils over, and what happens then is you can lose focus with the game, and then it becomes about that you lose 3 points, and it becomes about you're a bad loser. You don't want to really get it. I'll take a little bit with Guardiola, knowing that we beat him the odd time, and we haven't lost him. But I wouldn't want to be getting into some of the really horrible shit that went on. Like remember Guardiola and Mourinho over in Spain.
I know.
And the big post up on the side. Oh, you don't want that shit.
Who would you prefer tonight? Obviously, kicks off in 15 minutes. Villarreal, Bayern. Everybody would say Villarreal are a good side. They're a
They are a
decent
good side. Yeah, your man is still in there, isn't he? The guy that's with
Emery.
Unai Emery.
Yeah, he used to be at PSG and Arsenal.
Yeah, I would absolutely take Villarreal over Bayern.
Oh,
Now,
would,
having said that, I take Bayern. I've no problem with Bayern.
Well, we got to get there. I'm not throwing Benfica underneath the bus here. I'm just saying, hypothetically speaking, it looks like there's a good chance, probably an 80% chance we're gonna meet one of them in the semi.
Yeah.
Because
I don't think we're underestimating Bayern at all, right?
No.
I think what we're just doing is like Klopp will play a full strength team against them both games. We'll have a much better idea of where we are in the league. Like if we're still a point behind or if we're ahead of them, it might influence who we're playing. But I don't think he'll be scared of Bayern. And I think if we play our strongest team and we turn up, we'll beat them.
Yeah, oh yeah, no, we're a better team than Bayern. Look, Bayern playing a weird league. It wouldn't be as strong as the Premier League, and they're not doing huge. They're not walking away with it. You know what I mean? So it's similar to like a PSG. Oh, the German league's stronger than the French league. Yeah. Of course it is, but I wouldn't be afraid of anybody. Let's just get to the semi and then we can probably talk about it. But what do you think of Villarreal Bayern? Do you think Bayern will beat them tonight? They're 1-0 down. You think
remember, Bayern were 1-0 down against
Salzburg.
And then they beat
a different team though. Salzburg aren't at Villarreal's level.
No, I don't think Bayern don't win that. They'll come through there.
And the other game, Chelsea and Madrid, 3-1 down. Chelsea, you can't see anything other than Madrid, can you?
Madrid all
day. Bob Paisley was our best manager ever. Don't think his record will ever be beaten, says Eamon Kelly.
Yeah, I think his record won't be beaten. There's no doubt about that. But to your point, Dave, it was a different time. Like when he was coaching, Liverpool were by far the best team around. United were in their leads and Forest as well. But there was nobody like it. It's a completely different world now. It's so much more competitive.
Much more competitive, yeah. Red Xavi, City and Chelsea midfield, still the difference in our battles. We are closer in that area, but still need to improve. Yeah, I thought our midfield was static the weekend. No energy, just no energy, no guile or energy. Even Thiago. Listen, we're saying they're old, but they're 30, 31. Yeah. You know what I mean? And for a midfield, that's quite old. You know?
Yeah, I like Thiago. I thought he played well. Now,
to me, some lovely balls.
I Henderson's days are numbered. I think.
You think he'd be more of a bit part player, like coming on in games and stuff like that?
Definitely, because he's been absolutely brilliant and he's been great.
I still think he's important for us now.
He is important, and he's great. He settles us down when he comes on, and he gets us motivated as well. But I think against City, where you expect, and I know we're away from home, you expect him to be a little bit more commanding in there, and he was just another body in there. You didn't see him. He wasn't getting on at all. Now City were superb, but at the same time, like if we're going toe to toe with them again next year, like what are we expecting? Curtis to step up, Elliott to step up. I think we definitely need to be looking at something else in there to build out that midfield.
Well, look, as I say, Ivan, it's streamlined at the moment. Like I'm going to go 2-0 tomorrow night. I think we'd just be too good for them. We got to play the right team at the right concoction of players, really, and just start, Anfield under the lights type of thing. There's a semi-final of Champions League at fucking, at stake. I know it just sounds like another bleeding league game or something. And then you can sit back and look forward to a semi at Wembley and focus. It's an unusual time.
Half three, yeah. That's perfect. No coaching this weekend because it's Easter, so I get to see it. It'll be brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. But and then United, I mean, it's just ridiculous. I'm enjoying it. You're enjoying the ride. I would just I'd like another trophy or two. Listen, I want the quadruple, but I'm just, I'm trying to be realistic here. If we win the quadruple, I'm going to retire. That's it. I'm fucking finished. You know what I mean? I might even get a tattoo, and I don't like tattoos. So fucking, I don't know what I'll do if we win the quadruple. What will you do?
Can you imagine? So, and what are the dates? Is the Champions League final after the end of the league, or is it the week before the league finishes?
No, I think the Champions League finals the end of May, and it's in Paris. Of course, it was meant to be in fucking Moscow, wasn't it? That won't be happening. But and then the FA Cup.
Imagine going into the Champions League final with the league and the FA Cup in the bag. It'd be like, wow.
That'd be your the domestic treble, which City did a few years ago. Remember, they didn't get much kudos for that at all. No one talks about it. No one fucking like that's hard to do. Domestic travel.
Big time.
No,
we
all know they want the European Cup.
Yeah.
But I think we have a great chance in that. Yeah. Out of all the competitions, I think we have a great chance.
Let's say they lose tomorrow night. Like, yeah, Guardiola will be snapping. Would he question his position there now? You know.
Well, I mean, being beat by Chelsea last year, I was surprised. Beat by Chelsea. I mean, Tuchel had just come in. Remember a few weeks before, changed them totally around.
Yeah,
I was still surprised. They didn't turn up against Chelsea. You know what I mean?
No, they dropped Fernandinho, didn't they? And they played a kind of a weird system there. They had no hold.
There you go. The end of May, 28th.
Very good.
When's the FA Cup final as well? Just we might as well talk about the
finals, 11th or 12th of May, I think, at the middle of May.
Oh, it's in the middle. Well, the league is so. The league. It can't be on still. The league's there. The league goes right up until the 14th or something.
No, I think is it that following weekend? As far as I'm aware,
the week after the league. It'd be the week after the league. Usually a week gap, isn't there? And then hopefully there'll be another week gap so we can get to the Champions League final. Okay. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
I just think with games being 14th of May, so
14th and the 28th. So there's a 2-week gap between the Champions League and the FA Cup final. That's nice. That'll do us nicely. Yeah. Would you go to Paris?
Oh, I'd love to go. Jesus Christ.
Would you think about it?
I wouldn't. I don't think I would. No, like I think with COVID,
unless you had a ticket. Unless you had a ticket.
But like I would normally go over to 4 or 5 games in a season, and I've only gone to 1. I went to Palace at the start of the season, so my fear is that you get all your tickets and your flights, and then you get COVID and you can't go. So I'm gonna wait for games now till next season and then get.
But this season could be it. I mean, even do you know what? Even to be at Anfield, say at the Wolves game, the last game of the season. If we win that, say to win the league, you'd have to be even outside the ground.
Oh, I'd be over there. No, I wouldn't be investing in tickets now or anything like that. But definitely, if
the atmosphere, and the parade and stuff, we missed out on it in 2020.
But I had a ticket for the game, and I had my accommodation and all booked, and my flights booked, and then back in COVID, and I was staying from the Saturday until the Wednesday. It was going to be a big party.
Oh, you were going to the parade and the whole shebang. Where were you staying? Hotel?
No, I have. There's a contact I have on Twitter. I'll send it to you. She rents out apartments in the city centre. Really good. Really. It's
all about contacts, isn't it? Liverpool. It's all about contacts. Anywhere, I suppose. It's all about contacts. Well, Ivan, I'll tell you what. I'm going to go 2-0 tomorrow night. I think Villarreal might do a little sneaky one tonight. I might get through. I really do. I think Madrid will get through, and I do think City will get through. So I think it'll be City, Madrid, and Liverpool Villarreal semis. And I think Liverpool will win 2-0. What do you think?
I think we win 3-0. I think Atletico, Bayern, Madrid.
Wow, Atletico to get past City. Wow. And Bayern to get past Villarreal. Yeah. Anyway, listen, once we get there, I don't care because that's another day's work. So, and then we'll do something maybe Thursday or Friday night for the brilliant. Maybe Thursday probably would be the best night to do. I might be going for a few beers on Friday, but we'll see what happens. It's usually a good Friday. Anyway,
the pubs are open on Friday, aren't they?
Yeah, that's all gone. That's old school, baby. That's gone.
I might go and kiss the cross.
Kiss the sausage and batter. All right.
You old semi, you.
Keith was on earlier. Thanks for coming in, Keith. We'll talk to Keith soon, probably Thursday or Friday. Ivan's in the house. Hit the like, hit the share. Lalu is going 1-1 tonight. Well, that would mean Villarreal go through, wouldn't it? Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you for all your comments. You guys make the show. Without you guys, it's just me and Ivan and Keith here talking to the wall. You know what I mean? So thank you very much. Talk soon. Stay safe. Liverpool.